Today's guest is from Atlanta, Georgia. Went to Tulane University to play basketball, won the NCAA slam dunk competition, and converted to football after. Went on to play in the NFL and the CFL as a defensive back. In 2006, he broke the CFL record for most return yards in a season with 348 yards, a 75-yard touchdown, pick six when he broke the record. Finished his career with 29 INTs. 9 of them returned to the house for touchdown, which is also another CFL record. Also had 2 TDs from the wide receiver position on 2 catches.
Mm-hmm.
Was a 3-time CFL All-Star. Welcome to the show, Byron Parker.
What's up, Nick? What up, Nick? How you doing, man? I appreciate you having me today.
Hey, man, I didn't know you scored 2 touchdowns from the receiver position.
Actually, my first play, pro football play, was at the wide receiver position in Montreal. Damon Allen threw me a deep ball, and there was a touchdown. And my second one was from Rocky Butler in Winnipeg. Yep.
Wow. So there was a lot of when you look back at your career, winning the slam dunk competition, we'll get into and everything else. It just seems like you were just like, I'm an athlete, plug me in and let me do work.
So the story behind that, Nick, if I'm being 100% honest, I thought I was going to be 6'6", right? Right? Look, I swear, I thought I was the next Michael Jordan. There's no one could have told me that I wasn't going to the NBA and that I wasn't going to be 6'6". Unfortunately, I didn't grow after, I believe, my junior year in high school. I apologize. But I could always jump. I started dunking in the 8th grade. So I just assumed that I was just going to grow. You know, I heard Michael Jordan grew to 6'6" after his sophomore year.
Scottie Pippen.
I was like, shit, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm be 6'6". I got all the moves, all the MJ moves, but I didn't grow. And it's so funny that I actually played football my 8th grade year, and I was really good. My first play was an interception for a touchdown, right? So the writing was on the wall. And then after the 8th grade season, we went to the high school workouts, and a good friend of mine, I hadn't seen him in about 2 or 3 years, Robert Carswell, he grew to be like 6'3", 220. He was a safety. And they did the old school drill, the bull in the ring.
Yeah.
And called this one dude's number, and Rob was in the middle, and Rob turned around, hit this tight end, split his helmet. I told the coach, I won't be back tomorrow. I'll play basketball. That was it for me. You know what I mean? Like, yo, this not for me. Like, this not for me. So, yeah, man, I went on to play basketball and got to Tulane and won the dunk contest, got a couple of football calls from the NFL. And then Coach Selfo asked me to come out and play. And I was like, oh. And the rest was history. The rest was history. Here I am, 10 years pro football, a couple of records, a lot of fun. And, you know, that's the story in a nutshell.
Yeah, man, that's crazy when you look back over everything. Can you hear me? Yeah, man, that just seems like a lot of craziness going from football to basketball, then going to Tulane, doing the same thing, going from basketball back to football.
Yep.
But before we get there, what you been up to lately with COVID and everything else going on? What you been doing? What's keeping you busy?
Right now, I'm a teacher. We're teaching virtually. Like I said, I live in Atlanta. I teach business. Actually, I'm teaching graphic arts right now. So I'm teaching my kids how to use graphics, which is really, really cool. But it also kind of sucks just because the programs that we have in the building with the Adobe Suite, we don't have on Chromebooks, right? So I kind of have to figure out a way to use or teach them how to use or create graphics on a Chromebook, which isn't as good. I mean, it's good for like surfing the net and doing a couple Microsoft Word documents. But yeah, that's what I'm doing, man. I actually started a nonprofit organization called HOPS. That's what they used to call me when I played in Canada. They called me HOPS, and it stands for Helping Other People Smile. So we're just trying to get that launched off. Just trying to help out young kids. Being a dad full time, loving on my kids. My daughter She'll be 16 in 2 weeks. So trying to get this taken care of as far as like getting her some type of sweet 16 party with the whole COVID thing. And more importantly, just trying not to contract COVID, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
With everything that's going on. And then, of course, you know, tonight is a big day out here in the world. It's so funny that I went to go pick up some breakfast and I saw a dude had a tank. He had a tank. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude had a tank, man. Just like, wow. But yeah, man. So I'm just trying to stay busy, man. Just trying to teach kids and, you know, trying to be a good person. Trying to be a good person and just trying not to, you know, contract COVID, man. You know, it's just so crazy out here today.
I think that's the biggest thing is I look at it as morals over politics.
Right.
And I feel like right now, so many people are looking at it politics over morals.
Mm-hmm.
They're so looking at, oh, well, this person does this person does this person does this. And you're trying to find the evil in everybody instead of just going out and just say, you know what, be a good person.
Be a good person.
Be passionate to other people.
Right.
Right. Because if I can do that, then you can always find common ground.
Right.
We don't have to agree. There's every president before now has been a Republican or Democrat, but it's never been this bad. Yeah, having some technical difficulties. I hate when that happens, but you know, that's what happened when you go live. You're susceptible to everything happening like that. But you were just talking about the situation in the government, Democrat, Republican, how crazy everything is right now. I believe there's a bigger divide that's going to take longer to fix after these last 4 years.
I agree. I was just having a conversation with a good friend of mine. It's like you said, like, we don't have to agree, but I can still love you, right? It's like saying, I was telling the guy I went to go get I went to the gun shop the other day, and I had just voted, and the guy asked me who I voted for, and he was a Trump supporter, which is totally fine. And I explained to him, like, just because I don't agree with your political views don't mean that we have to hate each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no difference than, you know what I'm saying, us disagreeing on whether if it's hot or cold outside. It may be hot to me, you may be cold. I can still love you regardless of our differences, right?
Yep.
And I think that it really is just that simple. You know what I mean? But, you know, like, I wish we all could just make it that simple, right? Just I can love you even though I don't agree with what the things you agree with.
Yeah.
Right. And that's just it. It's okay to disagree because you don't always agree with what your wife says or what your daughter says or vice versa. Right. But that doesn't mean you love them any less. But, you know, like, that right there just sounds like that's too simple for people to understand.
Yeah. And there's a lot of, like, when you see him talking about he's going to declare victory early before all the votes are counted to create more chaos, different things that he does. And I like think I'm from Texas. I played football in Calgary for 11 years. So most of those people are Republicans. Right. I don't identify with either because I think at this point in life, we should be looking for the best possible candidate. And I don't think we have it in either one of the two.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I will never say I'm voting Democrat just because I'm a Democrat.
Right.
I'm doing myself a disservice.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I'm not raising myself to be a Democrat or a Republican. I'm raising myself to try to have the best world possible.
Right.
Like, how can the U.S. be at the best? And the biggest thing for me about Trump is it's not the fact of, like, all the stuff. Like, it's just the fact of how you can relate to things being – I see people driving people off the road. I see people in these big trucks and doing things. And that's every image I've saw from the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s.
Right.
Right. When he said, make America great again, go back to that time. Well, look where we're at.
Look where we're at. I agree.
The only thing that's different is you're not getting lynched at the end of the video.
Right.
But everything else is the same.
Yeah. Like I was saying, like, if we take the political aspect out, right? everything else that he stands for, I'm against it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If it was just politics, if it was just pure politics, like you said, like both of these candidates are terrible.
Yeah.
Right? They're just both terrible. And I agree with that. But it's the extra stuff that Trump does. Because, like, let's be honest, like, he only cares about the upper 1%.
That's it.
Right? But still, like, some of us are still falling for his shenanigans, right? But, like, truth be told, he doesn't care what color you are. You know what I mean?
He don't.
He doesn't care what color you are. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't care.
If
but
you're poor.
If you're poor, you're poor. And he doesn't care. That's your fault. It doesn't matter. Right? But you know, like I said, some of us are falling for shenanigans, and you know, it sucks that our world is where we're at, especially the U.S. Like, we're the laughing stock of the world right now.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yo, like, you know, I hit up my old barber in Toronto. I was like, yo, can you smuggle me across the border? You know what I'm saying? Tonight, can you just smuggle me across the border, man? Because I'm coming on up. But man, it's Nick. When I say, like, when I saw that tank today, I was like, yo, this is crazy. People out here driving tanks on the street. You know what I'm saying?
And they're saying another civil war. Well, civil war was predominantly fought over slavery.
Right.
So for people to say civil war, like, you can't call it no other war.
Right. You can't call it nothing else.
But you want to call it a civil war, right, because you know the racial tension in it.
Yep. Yeah.
So that's one of the biggest things to me is, like, if you see all the racial tension and you know that it's going down this road, obviously you need to change directions.
Got to change direction, man. And like I said, we just falling for the shenanigans, man. And it's pretty bad that we are so weak-minded as a nation to fall for it. Because like I said, he doesn't care about them. You're not the top 1%. He don't care about you. And you here you are supporting this man. Yeah. So we're going to see. It's going to be interesting. I'm ready for the night. I'm sitting down on the floor right now, just in front of the television, and I just can't wait to see what happens.
Did you get better during COVID? Like, did you set some goals during COVID? And
I did. It's so funny that I lost 40 pounds.
Awesome.
I lost 40 pounds. So funny, man. I don't know what your big highest weight was, but I got on the scale probably about 2.5 months ago. I was 266. I was a DN. You know what I'm saying? I was Myles Garrett over here. I was almost Aaron Donald. 6'1", 270. But a friend of mine that I went to college with, he posted something on Facebook and was like, who wants to lose 10 to 20 pounds before Labor Day? So I was like, I'll do. I said, but then, like, is it crack? I said, because I've tried everything. If you're going to just be honest with me, if it's crack and it's going to work, then I'll try it. And so he assured me that it wasn't crack, and I lost 40 pounds in about 60 days. That's so awesome. Now I'm back into large T-shirts, and I'm probably the size I was in 2010. Yeah, about 2010.
That's so good.
I'm a good size. Yeah, man. But
I'm on that journey now, man. I done gave up drinking for a while. I done stopped drinking for a little bit, and you know, one of the biggest things for me is, like, I don't eat a lot, but I used to drink a lot, and it wasn't because I had to drink. It's just because I drink. Yeah. Right. And that's just one of the biggest things for me. But you know, sit around at COVID, I got up to drinking like 4 bottles a week of Crown. Wow. And it was just like crazy. But see, I don't get drunk. So you can ask Clay and everybody, like I don't get drunk. So like I just drink, but I don't, like, that's why I don't understand how people go out and get like sloppy drunk. I'm just like, dude, what is wrong with them? Right. Like I could sit here and drink all night, have a good time, and you'd be like, I don't even know if Nick had a drink. Right. Okay. So it's not like I drink to the point I'm like sloppy drunk and doing that. It's just I drink casually and socially, and I just can drink more than a lot of people. Yeah, you a pro. You definitely a pro. But because, you know,
anything other than Hennessy, Nick, man, like about 2-3 cups, I'm done. You know what I mean? I'm 2 or 3 cups, I'm done. Like, man, I couldn't do a whole bottle of Crown. I would be so angry, such an angry person. Crown and tequila. Oh,
That's all I drink.
tequila and
Yeah, I'm from
Crown?
Texas, man. I can drink tequila like it's water.
Oh no,
I can drink tequila like water. I can put tequila on ice. Yeah, straight, man.
Nah, I can't do tequila, man. That's just not my drink of choice. Like,
See, I don't do Hennessy.
Really?
See, okay. So when Cope and Rambo got to Calgary in 05, we would go out and Cope would get a double Hennessy on the rocks. Yep. Ram get a double Hennessy on the rocks. So they ordered me a double Hennessy on the rocks. Just that 2005 and Marte Jenkins, right? It was all four of us all the time. So it was like you go to the bar, you just order 4 double Hennessy's on the rocks. Everybody took a turn paying or whatever. And that was pretty much the only time I really drank Hennessy. And it was like, I'm like, I got to drink before we get to the club. So I make sure this Hennessy is going to be all right.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I cannot do. I love Hennessy, man. I love Hennessy. My whole
rocks?
family. Yeah, on the rocks. Oh, man, my aunt can tell you don't mix good liquor, bro.
Yeah. You don't pollute your liquor.
Yo, let me ask you this. Where is Cope at, man?
Cope in Tennessee. I haven't talked to Cope in so long. I think he hiding out, man. I don't know.
I got a funny story about Cope, too.
Let's hear it.
So Cope and I, when he played in Toronto, I didn't know Cope could hoop. Right? Yep. And we got into this league. And I think Cope was there, 2010? Or was it 2011 Cope was there?
Cope was there 2010, the first year in Toronto.
Okay, so 2010. We played in this league. And, at this point, like, we're old. Consider like we're old. And we're playing on this team. And they got me and Cope guarding the 2 youngest dudes on the team. Right? So we get down. We go down. We get down. Halftime. Cope was like, all right, B, just give me the ball. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to get the ball. Swear to God. Cope went off for 40 in the second half. He didn't miss. Oh, my God. And I'm saying, Nick, when I say none of the shots he shot hit the rim, everything was the bottom of the net. He got hot. I'm telling you, he went off. We came back and won that game. And after the game, I'm like, dude, you playing the wrong sport. As good as a football player you are, dude, you playing the wrong sport, dog.
And he be talking, too. When he start hitting, he be talking.
Sound like Randy Moss, too. Oh, he's so country, dog. That dude's so country. Yeah. Yo, Cope can go, man. Cope was special on that court, man.
Yeah.
Cope was, yeah.
That's one of the things about Cope, man. He's talking about going to North Carolina to play basketball or going to Tennessee to play football.
Okay.
And he chose Tennessee to play football. He backed up Peyton Manning. And, one of the biggest things, we used to play at this place called the Talisman Center in Calgary every weekend during the offseason.
Right.
So me and Cope would go down and run. And, like, basketball is my favorite sport. And me and him, we'd get on a team, and we would play for 2 or 3 hours, but we would hardly ever lose.
Right.
Like, you go to Calgary and ask people, like, we would hardly ever lose. We went to Red Deer on a team and played in a tournament. Cope averaged like 31 a game. There's 4 games in 2 days. So think about this.
Okay.
We're just off-season workouts, and I think it's around February. It wasn't warm outside. So it's like February, March. So we just started back really working out.
Right.
And we go to play these games, and we only had 10 players, but we play these 4 games in 2 days. And the first game, we're out there feeling great. Second game is kind of like, man, this is a push.
Right.
You go to that hotel, spend the night. Next day, you wake up. That next morning, I was like, man, I think I drank 3 Red Bulls to get ready for that first game. Because I was out there like, man, I'm tired. And we ended up winning the championship. But I think I averaged like 18. Cope averaged like 31. We had another dude, Mike Myers, that averaged like 27. So we was out there balling. And, like, I'm not a shooter. I can get to the rim.
Okay. Yeah, me too.
I can get to the rim. The first time I dunked, I was 5'6".
Yep. So
in the 9th grade, and they toss that thing up, bam, go get it.
Okay.
And I've been a jumper too. I don't hop like you do, but
I don't even hop no more, bro. You know what? I don't even hoop anymore.
Really?
I don't even go to the court. I'm afraid of getting hurt.
I just got kicked out of a 35 and up basketball league here in Regina.
Did you really?
Yeah, I got kicked out. I got suspended for 2 years.
Did you?
Yeah, I'm way too competitive.
Okay.
But I don't try hard enough to, like, in my mind, I'm really competitive. And when you start talking, I get really competitive.
There you go. Yeah.
But then my body's like, we're not out here for that. We out here to run around, have a good time.
Right.
But in my mind, I'm like,
yeah,
oh, dude, I can destroy you if I want to play.
Right.
And then you get to that, yeah.
Yeah, I had a guy at LA Fitness one time, like, he's like, you can't guard me. Why did you do this? We were going to 12. I gave him 10 straight points. And I'm like, dude, you went to high school with my sister. So I know you 11 years younger than me. You know what I mean? And I was like, but the next day, I couldn't walk. Body was like, dude, you did too much, too fast. So I was like, man, I got to give up basketball, man. I don't want to get, I would be mad at myself if I went out there and got injured playing against some bum.
Yeah. No, see, that's me too. I play low to the ground. I don't try to dunk anymore. I can grab the rim off 2 steps.
Okay.
So I believe I can still dunk.
Nick, how old are you?
38.
Okay. So yeah, so we around the same age. I'm 30.
Yeah.
That's still saying a lot, man. That's still saying a lot considering all the banging you took.
I didn't take a banging.
Like 14, 15 years.
14. Football, right? But nobody hit me after I got bigger.
Yeah. So
like 2005, Nick, was the one you met when we started playing against each other.
Yep.
Was a lot smaller at 205 pounds. So once I got to 240, like nobody was hitting me.
Right.
The only punishment I took is really blocking defensive linemen and linebackers in the box.
I remember playing against you guys, and I don't know if we got like a fumble recovery or an interception, or it might even be an opportunity for you to crack back on me, right? And I was kind of new to the game, so this had to be like 2006, 2007. But, you know, that's when they had that controversial call with the guy at Edmonton.
Yeah.
And you had an opportunity. You had a real shot on me. You had me lined up, and you just ran up and just grabbed me like that. And I was like, man, I appreciate you so much. I was like, oh, I appreciate you so much. I appreciate you so much, which was funny, though, because that same year we were playing Winnipeg, and I had Milt. They ran it out. Milt was number 3, strong. And they ran it out, and I had him lined up. And I was like, yo, right before I hit him or tackled him, I knew that I probably could have ended Milt's career early. But I just tackled him, right? Because I never was one. I never really understood how Dante, how they went low, Dante and Sanchez.
Yeah.
Because I was always afraid. You know, I'm not knocking them for that. I was always afraid of injuring the receiver.
Yeah.
Although we weren't teammates, we were still brothers, though. You know what I'm saying? I consider us to be family. And I was like, yo, if I get ran over, I just get ran over. I don't want to hurt the man. And I had Milt lined up, man, but I didn't hit him, and he got up and he's like, man, thank you so much. To this day. So, but you know what I mean? That's one of the funny stories I remember. I was like, man, he could have just laid me out. And I think Jay Wild was like, Hops, Nick took care of you. I said, yes, he did. Yes, he did.
But see, I did that to a couple people, though. But like, I only hit people when there was too much talking going on, or I needed to set the tone.
Right.
Cam Wake, I needed to set tone on first play of the game, first play of the season.
Crack block.
Peach, Greg Peach, out there talking, you can't block me. Just so happened the next play, you know, they called a call for me to go, and I smacked him. You know, Zeke Marino was probably the only one, and that was just because the timing of the game, when I ran a crossing route and had to come back on Zeke, and I hit him. But that's probably the only one that I hit because, you know, BC be talking too. You know, when you got out there, you know, Corey's talking and Mars talking. You know, RP over there. RP gonna stand in the corner and talk. But
Yo, I tell people all the time. I tell RP and Billy Parker, man, y'all ruined my career. Y'all would have won that league, and I had to, because when I played, well, especially out in BC, man, I didn't get a whole lot of work in BC because RP was over there. You know, they always say they gonna attack me and RP because, you know, me and RP weren't the most physical guys.
Yeah,
we would tackle you. We wouldn't necessarily hit you. We would tackle you, and they said they gonna come at you. But I remember one game I didn't get a tackle to the second half of the game. You know what I'm saying? It's just like RP, he probably killed my career being out there with him. Him and Billy Parker, man, the last 2 years were terrible for me. statistically, right? I'll never forget. Even Wally Barno was like, he said, "Man, Parker, we can find anybody to play field corner," and I took it personal. I was like, "You just gonna Nick? We in the middle of practice. We sitting on the sideline. All we offenses doing their stuff." And I was like, "Wally, what do you mean? Like you could find?" I said, "Wally, ain't nobody from the field corner done what I done." He said, I didn't say we could get anybody to do it the way you do it." I said, "But we can go get anybody to get field corner." I was like, damn, you right. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? Like, I felt some kind of way, but you know what I mean? Like, that was Wally. Straight up.
Yep.
No disrespect, man. I appreciate it.
But I think that's how it was viewed, though, for a long time, is like anybody can play field corner, because really that was your worst receiver was out there, and they just put him far away from the ball. And then, you know, guys like Ryan Thelwell started playing out there. Brett Ralph started doing some things. There's some guys that went out there that could really do well.
I think me and Dwight came at a good time.
Yep.
Like DA, like, you know, DA has some all years at field corner.
Yeah.
You know, trying to throw that route out there. Especially, I always like playing against the quarterbacks that would come up from the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought that they were really, really, really good. And you go out there and they get the plan, and they went. I remember you. Do you remember we played you guys? I think DA had got hurt. I think Bishop had got hurt. Mike McMahon was our quarterback.
Yep.
He couldn't complete a damn screen pass, bro. Dog, it's like, dude, you are terrible, dog. Dog, you are terrible, dog. Dude, you terrible. You can't even complete a screen pass, and you think because you came from this NFL, like you the shit. Nah, man. But yeah, that was like the league. I watched the game now, and I didn't watch the game previously. I'll be honest, before I started playing, but I think the years that we played, man, we had some good years, man. We had some good talent.
There was a lot of great talent. Like you look at DB wise and receiver wise. Like every week, I was looking at a interview the other day I did with Brandon Smith, and like every week there was, you know, you had D Strong and Winnipeg with Terrence Edwards and Mill.
Oh, T Ray, we called Derek Armstrong T Ray. We went to the same junior college.
At the same time?
Yeah. So T Ray, right?
So you know Strong.
Big country, what they call it.
They put Strong in.
Like, who the hell is Big Country? And that man named T Ray. Nick, straight up, we had a dude named Manuel McElroy. He was amazing. T Ray, this was my freshman year, so he was a sophomore at TJC, where Jimmy Butler went, right?
Yep.
He came out for the basketball team. Derek Armstrong did. Like I said, we call him T Ray. And he went at Mac, and he got fouled one time, and he threw the ball at the best player on the team. I was like, this man here crazy. This man here crazy. But he the truth. Lo and behold, man, got back up to Canada, man, and saw him. I was like, man, I cannot believe this T Ray, man. This T Ray right here. Nah, but yeah, well, like you said, him, Milt, Terrence Edwards. You had you, Rambo, Cope. Well, y'all were so damn deep.
Yeah, then you in BC you had G. Roy, Paris, and Claremont, and Edmonton had Tucker and
Harvey,
Ed Hervey.
Ed Hervey. What was the other guy's name? Big, tall, all of them alone. Oh.
Brazel was in Winnipeg, though, right?
Brazel was in Winnipeg. Dominguez was in Winnipeg at the time.
I know at one point when Fred Sams came in and they had Kelly Campbell and Fred.
Yeah.
Kelly was rolling.
Yeah, he was a monster. He was just like, he would just get up out of there.
Sass had the Air Force.
Yeah.
With Dressler and Fantus and
Bruce, Miles, RJ.
Tony Miles used to get it.
Oh man.
Tony didn't get nowhere near the respect that the work that he did.
None. And then of course, you know, Montreal had K. Watt, Jay Rich, Ben, all of them. Was it Thyron Anderson?
Thyron Anderson, Terry Vaughn.
Man, they had a squad, dog. Like it was some good. Man, it was some good. We had some good games.
Yeah, you can just go across the border and just look. It's like, man, Like who you want this week? I don't want none of them.
Right. It was always work. It was always work, man. It was always work. It was never a guaranteed win. I remember even Hamilton, I used to tell people man, we ain't losing to Hamilton. And all of a sudden, shit, the tide just changed. That tide just changed. It just happened so fast. Now, shit, now they balling.
Yeah.
Do you miss playing?
No, not at all.
You don't miss playing?
Not at all.
I miss the competition, man. I still today I struggle with not having the competition daily. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing that I struggle with the most. Like every day, like I just miss the competition. I don't want to tackle. I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to tackle. But if I could replicate that competition every day, I would be a very, very happy person. I'm already naturally happy, but I need that competition.
That's one of the hardest things is when we look at the competition and the level of competition. Right. Where you're preparing to play against some of the best players in the world. Mm-hmm. Right. If you look at the NFL and CFL rosters, there's about 2,300 people. Yep. Right. You're playing against the best in the world. And you want to have that opportunity to go out there and just measure yourself. Right. One of the biggest things I found, I became a competitive board gamer. And I'm not talking about like Monopoly and things like that, but like in-depth board games helps me be competitive because now it's not about winning and losing. Like when we play, if you lost 3 in a row, you start looking around the locker room like, who gonna disappear? Right. Yeah. Hey, we lose another game, man. Look, somebody in this locker room leaving.
Yeah, somebody gone.
Like y'all can be friends, but one of your friends going home. You lose 3, 4 in a row. So it's not the same there because but you still get the competition. Mm-hmm. Right. And I play video games. You play video games?
I do, but right now I'm in the process of getting my doctorate degree. Awesome. So I don't have a whole lot of time to play no games. Plus, my PlayStation died on me.
That's why you need the Xbox.
So do I need to buy another PlayStation or do I just wait till 5 come out? Xbox. Oh man.
Xbox, where's that, man?
You are an Xboxer. You know what? I
got big hands, man. PlayStation controller's too small.
You're right. I agree.
Yeah,
I guess now you can cross play because I love Call of Duty.
Really?
I love Call of Duty, and so now that you can cross play, I guess it really doesn't matter what system you. So I'll probably get my son. I hope he doesn't. Well, I hope he doesn't listen, but I'll probably get him the PS5 for Christmas, and I'll probably.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Growing up in basketball, like, did you play other sports? You run track? You do anything else?
Yeah, I ran track my junior and senior year, won state my junior year in track.
And what?
We won overall. I got so funny. My junior year, I got 8th place in the 100 with a 10.65.
Wow.
What are you talking about?
In Atlanta?
We had a dude named Clint Crenshaw, went to Southwest DeKalb. I don't know where Clint is at right now. But he ran 10.3. Mike Carroll played. Mike Carroll was there too.
Batman.
I think Batman. I believe Ahmad might have been a sophomore at the time. Oh, you talking about? I never forget. Who was this Batman guy? Yeah, I saw this man. How y'all call this man Batman already? Like, man, that dude got in them blocks and took off. I was like, oh my god, he could roll. He was special. He was special. Crenshaw was special. Like, so we won state. And actually, I got a lot of track scholarship offers, but they told me that I couldn't play basketball for 2 years.
Oh, wow.
Miami, Ole Miss, Seton Hall. I think I got a couple offers from Tennessee. But when they said basketball's off the table, I was like, nah, I can't do it. So I ran track to play basketball, man, my whole high school career. I should have played baseball, though. I was actually a better baseball player than I was in any other sport.
Really?
Right, but I think I have ADHD. Never been diagnosed. That's self-diagnosed. But baseball is too slow for my mind. You know, I'll be out there in the outfield doing Michael Jackson moves and dancing. And I think the last time I got hit by a pitch, I just told my mom, that's it.
That's how my baseball career ended. I played. I was on the JV team my freshman year, and they wanted me to move up to varsity, and after that year for my sophomore year. But then I got hit in the calf, and yeah, it was over. I went from like second or third in the lineup to last.
Yeah.
I was like, Coach, look, I'm done. I don't.
Yeah.
You don't need me up there.
Yeah. So yeah, that the baseball thing. Knowing what I know now, though, I probably would have stuck with it.
Yeah.
I was really good at baseball.
Been able to steal bases, been able to go field, and like with your hops and your explosiveness, like you'd have been great center fielder.
Yeah, I should have stuck with it. I probably still been playing to this day.
That's it. What's your favorite part of basketball?
So funny, man. I love the guard. I love the guard. Because I was a dunker, right? Yeah. So in my mind, I figured if I can get as many steals as I can get all the dunks I want. And so I always took it upon myself just to lock somebody down and try to get as many steals as I could and get all the dunks. Man, I love the guard. I love the guard. Like I loved it. And I accepted the challenge too. I accepted the challenge of locking down the best player on the team. You know, it didn't always happen, but I was really good at the guarding. And then dunking. I'm gonna tell you what though, knowing what I know now, I passed way too much in high school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People didn't care that I could go get 20 sometime. They wanted to see it all the time.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things I fell into the trap of is playing on the team with my friends.
And you wanted everybody to eat.
I wanted everybody to get the shine versus just going for mine, which is fine. I'm totally cool with it. But knowing what I know now, I probably passed too much. And I remember a conversation my coach had with me. He was like, yo, if you don't shoot the ball 20 to 25 times a game, we don't have a chance. But I'm like, Coach, I can't. Like, I'm playing ball with my boys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't ball hog in front of my boys. These are my boys. Like, I got to see them outside of practice. You're not hanging out with them, right? Kind of like how Day told Craig, like, you don't live here.
You don't live
here. You don't live here. I got to kick it with these dudes outside of school, so I got to be passing the ball. And, you know, that was part of it. And I'm okay with it today. But knowing what I know now, if I had to tell my old self, if I could go back in time and tell my young self something, so yo, don't pass the ball so much.
I think it would have made a difference too if social media was around then.
Oh, Nick.
Right, because if social media is around, then it changes your whole outlook. Like I'm out here trying to get TikToks and make videos. Yeah, right, I got a YouTube page. I got a huddle. It changes your whole mentality of being seen.
Right.
Than it does back then.
Because I really truly believe that had we had TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that when we were young, like in our early teens, my life trajectory would have went somewhere else.
See, I don't think I would have succeeded.
No.
I got fined too much off Twitter when I played as an adult. Imagine me being in college or high school.
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
like the responsibility of it, though.
The responsibility was probably different too, though. But you had your parents to kind of watch what you say and things like that. But I just think I'm just talking about just pure video.
Oh yeah,
not like just pure like highlights and stuff. Like I still wish I had some of my old highlights of the things I've done. You know what I mean? Like I know like some of the dunks I've caught off the rim. You know what I mean? I wish I had that.
Yeah.
Today.
I was going to ask you, what was your favorite dunk that you did?
My favorite dunk, man, I have this old video cassette tape of me doing this windmill at TJC. And I think I ended up putting it up on my Instagram. I stole the ball and I'm coming down the left side of the floor and I take off and I do this windmill. And it's like the perfect windmill. You know what I mean? It's like low, it's long, and my legs cross at the end. It's just, I think my windmill is probably like my favorite dunk. I love doing windmills.
What's your favorite dunk you've ever seen?
That's a hard one. I've seen some really good. I think my favorite one is that Michael Jordan one when he dunked on Patrick Ewing.
Oh, when he went and turned around and came back.
Oh man! Because I'm like, how did he not go out of bounds, right? And then just to go up on Patrick Ewing, it's like,
he got up so quick.
Oh, he was so quick off the ground. He was so quick off the ground. So I think if I had a favorite dunk, I think that's my favorite dunk right there of all time.
When I look back at basketball, the pre-90s or pre-2000s basketball, it seemed like almost everybody was a specialist, right? Mitch Richmond, you had Chris Mullins, you had Dana Barros, you had all these guys that were three-point shooters. That's all they did. Peja Stojakovic come in and shoot threes, right?
Yeah.
So all you are is a specialist. You had dunkers that could come in and dunk. You had power forwards that came in and rebound and were physical. You had centers that could score and play some defense. Now everybody kind of can do a little bit of everything.
Right.
When you look at that mix, I think players back then were better, but I think players now are more athletic, and it makes it look. It's more exciting because they're more athletic.
Yep.
I don't think they're better basketball players.
I don't either. I remember looking at some highlights of a game. I don't even think we were born at the time, Nick. It was an old game. I think it's like the Suns versus somebody else, and they shot like 80%. Like both teams shot like 80 or like 78%. It's some ridiculous thing. I'm like, yo, like these dudes, they didn't miss. Like they just didn't miss. And even like you said, like Dana Barros. You know, who remembers Dana Barros? You know what I mean? Like, but you know, like Chris Jackson or Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, like it was a hard team. You know what I mean? Like then you got like, of course you got like Jordan and Dominique and all the ones that people know, but like Mark Price was a dog.
Mark Price.
And I didn't even I forgot how good Craig Elo was in that Cleveland team.
They had Larry Nance and Brad Daugherty and
they had a squad.
You know, I'd look at it, the Portland Trailblazers back then with Jerome Kersey.
Oh, then
Kevin Duckworth, Cliff Robinson, Terry Porter,
Clyde
Drexler.
And people talk about super teams, dog. That's a super team.
That's a super team.
Yo, that Portland Trailblazer team was a super team, bro. Like all them ballers, even Magic. You know what I'm saying? Kareem, Magic, Worthy,
Dennis Scott,
Michael Thompson.
Yeah, Michael Thompson. Byron Scott. Michael Cooper.
Byron Scott. Michael Cooper. All these guys. That's a squad. You know what I'm saying? That's a squad.
The Orlando Magics in the 94 with Penny, Nick Anderson, Dennis Scott, Shaq, and Horace. Like, come on, man.
That's a super team.
That's a super team.
That's a super team. That is a super team, man. Like
you had 2 40% three-point shooters. You had one of the most athletic point guards. And you had the most dominant player to probably ever play the game.
Shaq. Come on, man. On one team.
Like that's what people don't understand. Like back then, like I think guys were better 1 through 5, more rounded, but now guys are so athletic.
Right.
Because you put LeBron on the court with LeBron AD out there. Now it doesn't matter who the other 3 guys are.
It doesn't matter.
Because now the NBA all it is whoever's got the worst defender on their guarding them, run up here, run a little pick on LeBron, get the switch, let LeBron go against the worst player on the court.
Right. Because AD is just Magic and Kareem again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like Magic and Kareem. Y'all can say it's a super team, but Magic had the number. Kareem scored the most points in NBA history. How is that not a disadvantage for everybody else?
Yeah.
Nobody has been able to stop the skyhook ever.
No. Celtics had six Hall of Famers on one team.
Come on, the Celtics, man.
6 Hall of Famers on one team.
That's a super team. Bird, McHale. You know what I'm saying?
Parrish, Ainge.
That's a super team. It's a super team. You know what I mean? So, you know, I feel like LeBron gets a bad name, and I know I could talk basketball all day. But to me, man, like Mike had to go through it. Like even Isaiah Thomas, like all them dudes had nicknames. Joe Dumars, the microwave. Come on, man, he ain't
Benny the microwave Johnson.
No reason. You know
he come off the bench hated.
Off the bench, and there's nobody in the league that does that right now. Comes off the league and hot. Right? No. It's like, well, I guess it would be
Jamal Crawford or Lou Will or Jamal Crawford.
They come out. They could probably have that name.
But then they take out the starters, and it's so crazy. Like when you have a great scorer that's like not actually almost a great player, you're like, okay, you're gonna be our 6th man. So now we can bring out our starters or two of our starters. You go in and shoot as much as you want.
All you want.
We'll just put a defensive lineup around you, and then you just go shoot.
You just go shoot.
You're going to get your 25 because ain't nobody else on the court shooting.
Right. But you remember, look at, I was looking at a highlight clip of Larry Johnson today. Larry Johnson, Alonzo Mourning, Kendall Gill, Muggsy Bogues. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hershey Hawkins.
That's a squad.
Hey, man, look.
What about the Seattle Supersonics?
Gary Payton, Sean Kemp, Detlef Shrimp.
Detlef Shrimp. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, Detlef Shrimp, bro.
Indiana Pacers.
Mark
Jackson, Reggie Miller, Dale Davis, Antonio Davis, Rick Smits.
That's a squad.
Chris Mullen.
That's
like, come on, man.
Team.
All of super teams.
That's super team.
That's what I tell people. Like, I don't care. Like, you can send some of these guys back. Like, if you send that Cavaliers team back, LeBron went 8 years in a row with, they're not making it to the championship.
They're not making it to the championship. They may not even make the playoff. Come on, man. LeBron took Boobie Gibson, Zeke Gauskas, Damon Jones,
and people think it's a disrespect to LeBron, but I mean, it's the truth. He's not taking those guys to the playoffs in that era.
No, he's not. And like you said,
but he's still great. LeBron. It's not a disrespect to him.
Because that really proves your point. How much skill they had back then versus do they do now?
Yeah,
they had skill. Like, because even like the dude, your worst player in the starting five still had a skill set.
Yeah,
he wasn't just a rebounder or a passer. You know what I mean? He had a skill set. So yeah, I agree with that, man. I just think they were more skillful back then when we were younger than they are today.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, that's another thing for Jordan is his team wasn't an all-star team. Like, he had 4 people at one point.
Right.
You know, you give him Dennis Rodman and Tony Kukoc. I mean, I like Ron Harper. I like that matchup versus today's Warriors or the Warriors of 2 years ago. If you put Ron Harper,
the '96 Bulls team.
Yeah, if you put Ron Harper, Jordan, Pippen, Rodman, and Kukoc on the floor at one time versus the Hampton Five of the Golden State Warriors. Yeah. That'd be a great fourth quarter.
Yeah, but what about the 91 Bulls, the 92 Bulls, or the 93 Bulls? We had Scottie Pippen. Now, I'm not saying Paxson and Horace Grant and Bill Cartwright were slouches, but like let's look at Jordan team for real.
Yeah, and especially compared to the rest of them, like those Pistons teams, like all those teams,
the Lakers, the Celtics,
even the Suns, even when they beat the Suns.
Dan Marley, Richard Newman,
Kevin Johnson,
Charles Barkley, Cliff Robinson. Cliff Robinson wasn't there, was he? Cliff Robinson, he wasn't.
I don't know if they had Oliver Miller then or not.
He was still with Portland then in '93. But you know what I'm saying? Like, that Sun squad was Danny Ainge. They had a squad. They had a squad in '93, man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Like, we discredit Jordan a lot, man. I'm a Jordan fan. I mean, I named my daughter after him. You know what I mean? But yeah.
Is there anything LeBron could do to surpass Jordan?
Is there anything?
Yeah.
No, not as far as being the GOAT. But now, LeBron might be the best player to ever play in the game.
Yeah.
Best player, like all around player. He did hands down. Jordan was a killer though.
But even after LeBron had one Defensive Player of the Year.
Did he have one? No, you said he hasn't.
He hasn't.
No.
And Jordan did.
Yeah, that's a wrap. LeBron, he'll never get it. And LeBron will probably never get another MVP either. Even though he probably should have won it probably 3 times previously to now. Yeah. But, you know, we could say the same thing about Kobe. There wasn't one time in the world that Steve Nash was better than Kobe 2 years in a row.
Not a chance.
Not a chance. But, no, man. And I'm a big LeBron fan too, but LeBron, in my eyes, will never be able to pass Jordan. And as being the GOAT. Now, he's probably the best player.
Yeah.
He's probably the best player to ever do it.
Yeah, he's very exciting. Like I said, once you put that athletic ability to it, it just changes the whole game. But you look at technology now, the way that he's able to take care of his body. Mm-hmm. You look at the things that he has available to him now that wouldn't have been available to him 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Those are big differences. And
Yeah,
LeBron
difference.
without a jump shot is basically Grant Hill.
Yeah, because like even like if we were playing now, like let's say COVID doesn't happen, like we were probably you played 14 years, you played a long time. But I'm sure a lot of our careers would have lasted longer
In this era.
In this era.
So my last year was 17. So that's one of the things I talk about quite often is it's not physical anymore. And the game has changed to a more finesse game.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen receivers that couldn't get 1,000 yards before they changed the rule in 2013, I think was the rule change year.
When you couldn't touch them at the 5 yard.
Yeah. Now they're getting 1,000 yards on like, and I'm like, this dude played 6 years, couldn't get 1,000. And now all of a sudden he's getting 1,000.
Right.
I went out and I put up 1150 in year 13.
Right.
In this, you know what I'm saying? Because it's just a change of the game. It's almost like the hand check rule when Jordan now goes and scores 22 and averages 31 his last 30 games as a pro at 40 years old.
Yeah.
You can't put your hand on me. Oh, I can take that one dribble pull up all day. You can't stop it.
Yeah.
He shooting 100 times. He's scoring 100 points.
You know what, Nick, and I'm glad you said that because I forgot all about that. Them changing that rule because I remember you remember you used to be able to get set off at 10 and play cover 2.
Yeah.
Catch them at 10. What?
And if they ain't throwing the ball your way, the refs ain't throwing the flag.
They're not throwing the flag, man. And you're right. I never thought about that until you just said that. That's a lot of guys that probably would not get 1,000 yards. But that also lets you know how special y'all were with being able to get 1,000 yards with all of the hand checking that we were still able to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Back then versus how it is today.
Yeah, because I did 1,000 my first 9, and then in my 10th years when I broke my leg, and I think only 2 people got 1,000 that year. Right. But I think 27 starting quarterbacks that year because everybody got hurt. But then they were like, well, we got to pick up the offense, so we're going to change the offense rule. I'm like, no, you got to change if you want to help out the offense, keep the quarterbacks healthy.
Yeah.
How you going to keep the quarterbacks healthy? Well, you got to figure out these tackles that are Canadian trying to guard these American defensive ends like Charleston Hughes and Jaguar Davis and these guys that are now 240 and not 265, 270.
Yeah.
And they're super quick. They got spin moves and doing all this stuff. Like, that's the only way you can protect the quarterback.
Man, Charleston Hughes. Funny fact about Charleston and I. We were roommates in Philadelphia, 2009.
Really?
I'm going to tell you what we had. We had a foam roller. We had 2 air mattresses. We had a TV and an Xbox. That was all we had. Yo, we lived in an apartment, when I was in Dallas, they would give us money for food and we would get paid for our workouts.
Yeah.
When Philly, they didn't give us money for food. They only paid us for our workouts. So we were only making $400 a week, right? But they also told Charleston and I that we couldn't come into the lunch to the cafeteria and eat for free, right? And if you don't, I'm telling you, next time you ever talk to Charleston, he's ever on here, ask him about this. They tried to charge us to go into the facility in the cafeteria in the Philadelphia Eagle facility. They tried to charge us to eat.
Why is that?
I don't know. They said that we weren't. They said that right there is not part of us being on the team. I promise you, yo. Because we were bringing food back to the crib. Right, we weren't making no money.
Yeah,
we had some CFL money.
That's how the rookies do it, man. Every time, let me get that to go plate.
Right, but I thought the cafeteria was for us. Nah, they were saying they were trying to charge us to eat in the cafeteria at the Philadelphia Eagles facility.
That's crazy.
Crazy story. Yeah,
that's crazy.
That is crazy.
And I read a story about that Eagles. They wanted you to gain weight.
So Nick, when I got to Philadelphia, I was already considered to be a big corner.
Yeah.
Right? 220. When I got to Philly, they wanted to move me to strong safety, which was to me was crazy because they already had Quentin Michael there.
Yeah.
Right? But they all had Asante Samuels over there. So I was like, well, shit, he got corner blocked on the you know what I'm saying, left side. So the last one was Sheldon Brown. Sheldon Brown was, you know, he wanted to get traded because he was in the contract year, I guess. I don't know what was going on with him. But so you only had one spot available. Brian Dawkins had just retired. So they had drafted, you know, they had Quentin Dips at free safety. So they already had their secondary set. And so they had me start lifting with the linebackers. I'm like, yo, y'all, like, I'm a corner, man. I'm a corner. I'm not like, I'm a corner. Y'all got me in here like incline pressing like 260. I'm a corner. Why I ain't working out at the corners? Why I ain't doing the cornerback workout? Nigga, I blew up to like 239. I was fast. I was still kind of nimble, but I was like, yo, this not the move. Big. I was just too big. And so what they would have me do, they would have me go work out with the tight ends. And they go, oh, well, you're a corner. You need to go over there and work out the cornerback. I'm like, damn, y'all don't put 20 pounds on me. You know what I'm saying? And now I got to lose weight to get back to corner weight. So I'm kind of glad the Philadelphia Eagle thing didn't work out. I ended up getting into it with the DB coach. He, you know, man, like, it's one of the things where people already don't, I ain't gonna say they don't respect us, but they thought the CFL was kind of a joke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm one of them people that, you know what I mean? Like CFL raised me, right?
Yeah.
I'm a CFL player. They raised me. I learned so much about, and that's why I grew up to be a man. In the Canadian Football League. So when a dude, one of the fans, we had fan day, brought a picture of me in my Argonaut uniform.
Yeah.
And they asked me to sign one, and they gave me one. So I was like, cool, I'll sign one. And they gave me one. I put it in my binder. And, you know, like I was 28 at the time. So I had just come off. I had just set some records.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was older. But I sat in the front. I sat in the front because I was new. And I forgot his name. First name was Brian. I forgot his last name. He's up there. He's the DB coach now. And he took the picture out, put it on the overhead projector, and bust out laughing, talking about, man, what the hell is this? I was like, what? I said, what do you mean, what is that? He said, what is this? This ain't no real football. Nick. Oh. When I say I snapped on him, I was like, well, this is something you've never done. You got this job and you ain't never played. You can't even, and it's so funny, Nick. It's so funny. What's so funny about that story is earlier that day, he told Asante Samuels to do something, and Asante was like, show me how to do it.
He couldn't do it.
He couldn't. I'm like, dude, you can't even show the best player on the team how to backpedal. You're going to ask this man to do something, you can't even show him how to do it. You ain't never played.
Teach it from a book.
So the next day, Marcus Thigpen and I, he was on the team. We were in cover 2. What was the backup quarterback's name there? Kyle.
In Philly?
Philadelphia. Kyle something. Anyway, we were doing like 2s versus like whatever. Thigpen was on the line. We were in cover 2. I jammed Thigpen. He grabs my face mask and pulls me down, but I spin around and knock the ball down because Kyle threw the ball to the flat.
Yeah.
The DB coach walks on the field trying to cuss me out. So at this point, he had already tried me the night before. You're going to now you're going to come yell at me. And clearly the dude pulled my face mask, which is fine. Like, I wasn't mad at Thigpen about it. Like, I made the play. Andy Reid's like, BP, just go to the other side. It's all good. They cut me for Vic after we played the Patriots on Thursday night, preseason. They brought Vic in.
Marcus.
They cut me on Friday. No, Michael.
Okay.
Yeah, they cut me, which is cool. I would have cut me for Vic too. That's Vic. You know what I'm saying? I'm from Atlanta. I get it.
Yeah.
They cut me for Vic. I went to turn in my playbook. The dude wouldn't even look me in my eye and wouldn't even shake my hand. Right? I drive up to Toronto that night. Howie Rosen calls me back. He's like, hey, we want to bring you back. What? Y'all want to bring me back? You just cut me. I just drove to Toronto. So I was like, you know what? Let me talk to my agent. My agent called me. I talked to my agent. I said, well, give me till Monday. I talked to Adam Reed. I'm like, look, I don't want to go back. I don't want to go. That's toxic for me.
Yeah.
Plus, I think Charleston had gotten hurt too. So I know he wasn't going to be playing. He had gotten hurt. I just tell them I ain't coming back, man. They called me Monday, man. I told them I'm not going back. I don't want to come back. And that was it.
What was the process of getting your body back ready for the CFL since you had got up to 239?
Nigga, I came back to Toronto. That's when they had Bart Andrews.
Yep.
And when I got there, I took every rep. Scout team, every rep. I took every rep.
That was just you wanting to get back right, or
yeah. But that's something that I had always done too. Like as a rookie, you know what I mean? Like I took every offensive scout rep and every defensive scout rep. So I practiced all day as a rookie, right? Mm-hmm. Which is fine. Like I was a football player or I was a basketball player just trying to learn the game. I figured the best way for me to learn
is to play.
I would go both sides. So I had a blue jersey and a white jersey. And so when I went back, that's what I did. I did defensive scout, offensive scout, and I ended up losing the weight. But then I got traded. So,
what was your favorite city to play in?
I love Toronto, but the city, Montreal is beautiful, dog. I know you know. I lived on St. Cat, nigga. I lived on St. Cat.
I live on St. President Denis.
Okay, I live right there across the street from the Canadian Tire. On the end
President Kennedy, sorry. I live on President Kennedy, which is like 2 blocks up.
Okay.
So, right where the jazz festival is and everything. Yep. I was like a block from that.
Oh man, Montreal was beautiful.
Right. I was like across the street from the train, the metro.
Yep.
So it took me literally 15 minutes to walk across, get on the metro, and get to the facility.
Yeah, man. I loved Montreal. Montreal was beautiful. Montreal was beautiful.
Yeah. I don't like Toronto though.
You don't like Toronto?
I just feel like Toronto's like being in the U.S. almost.
It is. It's a clean New York. But I always tell you. But Montreal is beautiful, man. I love Montreal. I love it. Very beautiful city. And like I said, I know you know. Yeah. Montreal got to be probably one of my favorite cities.
When you were growing up, did you always have in your back your mind? I know earlier you said you wanted to be 6'6" and go to the NBA. Did it ever change I just want to go pro? Like once you won the slam dunk contest and you start to get some NFL interest or some football interest, what got you back into the football? And was it, I can go pro in football more than I think I can go in basketball?
Okay, so one, I always wanted to be a professional athlete.
Yeah. Right.
That was always a dream of mine, whether it be basketball, soccer, baseball, whatever. Like I just wanted to be like, you know what? I wanted to be a professional athlete. And so when I was at Tulane, I remember a guy, he would come up and watch us play. He was like, yo, you're not a basketball player. Like, what am I? Like, yeah, you're a corner. Because I got a scholarship offer out of high school to go to TSU, Tennessee State University. Coach came up there, the head coach came up there to see some of my classmates, and he asked the football coach, who's the best athlete in the building? He's like, Byron Parker. So the dude came to my locker, like, are you Byron? I was like, yes, sir. We want to offer you a scholarship to play football at Tennessee State. I'm like, what? I don't play football. Like, my homeboy cracked another dude him in the head. I was very clear to the coach that I'm not playing football. But once I realized that people started seeing me as a DB, and I realized I wasn't going to be 6'6", and then people told me, I always thought I was short, 6 foot. It was like, well, as a corner, you're tall. You're a tall corner. And then, of course, Brandon Browner came to kill him and Lenny Wall.
Him and Streets.
Game. But they was like, yo, and for a DB, you know what I'm saying, with your athleticism, like you would be tall and really, really athletic. And so I just started really considering, like, maybe this could be something that I can do. And then after the dunk contest, when the first call that I got was from the New York Giants, I'm like, well, I know I don't play football. That's like, yeah, but your speed and your height would translate to the football field really well. And that was the first time that I really thought, like, yo, this might be an opportunity for me to go play football. So after I won the dunk contest, I had a sports hernia, but I also had a European workout set up, and I went to that, and I got an offer to go play Puerto Rico for $60,000. I was like, At the time, I was thinking, well, I probably can go make more money than that in the NFL because I've gotten NFL calls.
Yep.
So I decided not to go take the job in Puerto Rico, and I decided to try football. And Jacksonville signed me. Jacksonville signed me after my football season. And funny, my first play, the last play, senior night, they let all the seniors start.
Yeah.
Playing Eric Taylor at East Carolina, and the quarterback tried to throw. I was in cover 3. I was playing a nickel. They had me dropping in the flats. And he tried to throw a ball in my hand. I jumped up and caught it one-handed and returned it to the 5-yard line. And after that, Coach Steph was like, man, you just brought your own ticket to go to the league. Which was funny because when I got to Jacksonville, when Jacksonville signed me, I was terrible. I could run straight, right?
With no hips.
I could cover a go route. Like, they were all impressed when I got out there with Jimmy Smith. I could cover. But when them little shifty dudes started getting out there and they got the leaning on me, and I'm thinking, oh, they about to running out. He leaning. Now he set me up to run the dig.
Yeah.
Oh, it was terrible, Nick. I was terrible. Oh, it was terrible. Like, I was like, yo, like, I can't do this. Like, and not to mention, like, at the time in 2004, Jacksonville's one of the best defenses in the league.
Yeah.
Like, dog, I signed with the best defense in the league. You know what I mean? But the guys, man, took me under their wing, which is something that I've been so blessed to have, even when I got up to Canada, like Jordan Younger, AJ, Kenny Wheaton, Chuck Winters, Cliff Ivory, Atlanta Steiner, Mike O'Shea. Like, them guys took me under the wing and taught me the game. And they taught me so much. They taught me how to be a man. They taught me how to be a professional. And they taught me the game of football, man. And that's something I will always be grateful for them about. And then, I learned the game in 2005. Got a shot to go play at Dallas. And came back to the CFL. And then it was it.
Yeah. You went back and forth a couple times.
Yeah.
Was it just something in you that you just wanted to play in the NFL, or did you just never feel like, what was it that made you? Because I remember I got like 12 offers in 2006 and I stayed in Canada.
Nick, I wish I would have done, right? I wish I had done that. The reason why I went to Dallas, Pinball and Adam Rita sat me down. It's like, yo, you got to take this opportunity. Why? Like, I just had a really good year. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have a really good year before then. I was just trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Starting to figure it out in 2005. It's like, yeah, but you got to take this opportunity because there's so many guys that want this opportunity. It would kind of be frowned upon if you didn't take the opportunity because you could always come back here. I was like, yeah, like, I don't want to leave home. This is home. Like, I don't want to leave home. And so they kind of made it to where, like, yo, if you leave, you can always come back. So you're not losing anything. Take the opportunity. So that's what I did. I took the opportunity, and it's not something that I regret. It's not something that I necessarily wanted to do, right?
Yeah.
Because I never had dreams of playing in the NFL. Like, I was straight where I was at.
Yeah.
Like, kind of found a home. I found a group of guys that embraced me.
Enjoying life.
I was enjoying, like, I wasn't making no money, but I wasn't doing it for the money. Making like $55,000 Canadian.
Yeah.
It's like 35 grand. But, I was enjoying life. Like, life was good. Like, I was fulfilling the dream. Like I said, I was with a good group of guys. But, and when 2008 rolled around, we had a terrible year. I had a lot of teams interested. But then again, I didn't want to go. Like, I was straight.
Yeah.
At this point, like, I was kind of like one of the big dogs.
Yep.
And they was like, yo, you got to take the opportunity. Adam Reed again. I'll just take the opportunity, man. You can always come back. So I left. I didn't want to, man. And, but it was all good. Life lesson. I learned a lot, met a lot of cool people, and got a chance to see the other side of the business, man.
Yeah. When you look back at it all, like, how you feel about it? Just how everything turned out for you from childhood to going to high school, football, basketball back to football, all the picks, the all-stars, just your whole journey. How you feel about everything now looking back on it?
Looking back at it, I'm so blessed. Like, and it's so funny because, I've never been one to take credit for the interceptions. I always tell people I was just the worst one on the team. So they had to throw the ball somewhere. You know what I mean? Like they had to throw the ball somewhere. Like like the lineup we had, especially in 06, like we had a cast of all-stars in the secondary then. But I'm blessed. Although I would give up everything. The games, the interceptions, the records, if I had a ring. I would give it up. I would give it all up, bro. I promise you. Like, I've never got a chance to play in the game. Was so close. You know, I think I blame myself for losing to y'all in Calgary when y'all came to BC, when I was at BC. But y'all game plan, I mean, shit. It was the perfect game plan. It's a perfect
12?
2012.
Yeah.
It's a perfect game plan. Like, and it wasn't even, it was 2 plays. You know what I'm saying? It was 2 plays. It was 31.
Coach Mwamba gave up the opening touchdown when he was guarding.
No, it was not Coach Mwamba.
Who was it?
Reddick should have been covering Marquay.
Marquay started over and then motioned over, and this person motioned back. Yeah, they were in cover 0. Y'all were in cover 0. But Coachy didn't come over.
No, you're right. You know what? Riddick didn't blitz.
He guarded he was on me, I believe.
Okay.
Right? Well, so it's we started off, I think, in 3-by-3, and then Marquay came over to make it a 4-by-2, and Coachy never came over, and somebody got confused.
Man, I'm telling you,
I knew it should have been cover 0, but then
Red was supposed to cover him, and Kevin fucking go in.
There you go, KG.
Because you know we were planning on playing against Drew Tate.
Yeah,
we was like, yo, we gonna get Drew Tate. We gonna win this game. Then fucking Kevin Glenn, then fucking KG, and then y'all came out there with Bo Levi, 3rd and 1, right? What do y'all usually do? Hand it off. What did I do?
Mo Price.
Fell asleep. I fell asleep, thinking y'all were gonna run the ball.
That should have been a touchdown too, though. Like they marked him at the 1, but
his knee was down. I got him down, and then that was one play, and then the pass interference where our feet got tangled up. They called a PI.
Yeah, and I thought that was pretty touchy.
But right, I mean, I wasn't one of them jam you up guys.
Yeah,
you know, our feet got tangled. He fell. They threw the flag, and I don't even know if y'all scored off that play. I think Corey Banks got an interception for a touchdown right after that.
Yeah,
or you know,
that was at the beginning. Yeah, Corey.
You know, I took it upon myself. You know what I'm saying? I felt like I was probably the reason that we lost it, whether that's true or not. But you know what I'm saying? That's 2 plays that I remember back of my hand. But that was like game plan. That was a perfect game plan. You figure because every year I have never fallen asleep, especially when y'all used to put Rambo over there. Ooh, you talking about somebody that don't get no respect? I just don't feel like he's mentioned enough.
I think he's the best player I've ever the best receiver. Because he could run so fast. He could run every route in the route tree. His stutter comebacks was
my God.
He hit that stutter and that knee come up. It's just like, he out the gate again. Man, look.
It was 2 routes that scared me. And I never had to cover Kenyon Rambo. Never. But I always remember watching film on him with JY. And JY would always prepare for him. Like he would prepare for him. It was Kenyon's stutter comeback. And then I always got afraid that y'all were going to come at us, do y'all's curl, and then spin and take off on us. Oh, that spin move was so nasty. I always thought those were the 2 routes I was always afraid of. Other than that, like only because I knew y'all had the quarterback to get y'all the ball.
Yeah.
Right? So when we played against y'all, I know I always tried to focus a little bit more because I knew like besides Henry Burris, the only other quarterback that could really beat me deep was Michael Bishop, and he was on our team. Yeah. Right. So we only saw y'all 2 times.
The way we used to game plan you was the 5-yard out. Like we'd run 2 5-yard outs on the inside.
Yep.
And then run the go route on the outside because you would always be peeking those out routes like, I'm ready to jump this out route. And we had Johnny Frazani over there. And remember he got you one time for a touchdown.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's only a couple corners that you know, like you're definitely one of the best. There's not a lot of people that can put up the numbers you put up and be consistent as you did in the amount of time you did it in.
Right. I appreciate that. You know, like
Like think about this: 8 picks I think it's 2006. And you took 4 back to the house.
It's so funny that you say that, right? Javon Johnson, I love corners, right? He's one of my favorite players. And I know that he got the defensive player of the year that year, right? For 8 picks, 2 for touchdowns. But I always tell people like I had that in 8 games.
Yeah.
6, 4 for touchdowns. And the reason they said I couldn't get defensive player of the year that year, they said I didn't play enough games, so they gave it to Barron Simpson. But Barron Simpson was there, and he had a fun time on the field, so I get it. It's not something that I'm heartbroken over. But the year that Javon Johnson won the defensive player of the year, and no corner's ever done it ever before or after him, I had those same stats in 8 games.
Yeah,
he had in 18 games. So I got a question for you though.
How
do you feel about people complaining about the NFL going to trying to get 18 games?
I think all sports should. I think everybody's bigger, faster, stronger. I think the NFL's in a way they have to widen the field. You don't have to make it longer. You have to widen the field.
Yep.
There's no more lanes. There's too many impact shots.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't open up the field, it's just going to lead people to get hurt.
Right.
I think that's how the CFL is able to play 18 games is because the amount of impact hits is not the same. Right. NFL is downhill. Yep. CFL is stretch.
Yep.
Right. So you're not getting all the collisions that the NFL gets. So you can play more games and you get fresher. Right. But the downside of CFL is the O-line, D-line being a yard off the ball. You get bigger collisions there on a minor scale, right? So they're getting more collisions and it hurts them. But if you're a linebacker, running back, DB, receiver in the CFL, 18 games doesn't make a difference.
Right.
The NFL, those 2 games would make a lot of difference for that pounding on your body, right? And unless they open up the field, I think hockey needs to open up the ice. I think NBA needs to open up the floor.
Okay.
Right? I just think people are way too fast, way too strong, and way too athletic now that you have to start opening it up because, I mean, guys are taking 2 steps and getting blocked shots on 3-point shots out the paint.
Right. Yeah.
Like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you got to open it up more. You don't want to raise the rim. I think that's a bad option.
Yeah.
But you want to be able to span the court a little bit more, even if you make it, 2 foot wider in basketball and maybe 5 to 8 yards wider in football.
Right.
It's just going to open up the game a little bit more, take away those. You run a slant now, somebody's getting hit by somebody.
Yeah, you dying. We're on the slant.
Right. There's no more of the catch, tuck. It's catch, bang.
Yeah.
On almost every catch now, you see somebody's in position to almost get hit unless they're just open in the zone and the quarterback's outside the pocket. Any kind of other plays, somebody's getting hit really within a step of catching the ball.
Right.
So you got to open it up, man. And I think that's the only way you're going to protect the players. Because I equate it to it's a gladiator sport. You can't dull the knives and say somebody's not going to die in here. Right? You know what it is when you step on the field.
Yep.
So just go ahead and be the gladiator. But if you want to help us, just give us a little bit more room to work.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. Yep.
Right. If we got more room to work, now I know I'm catching it and maybe I can brace and I don't take the same impact in the same hit. Yeah. Right. I think they went overboard with this targeting rule in college, kicking kids out of games.
Yeah.
Because, doing all the brain study stuff, you don't have to get hit in the head to get a concussion, and you don't have to hit the head to get brain damage. So therefore, you're kicking people out because of perception. You know what I'm saying? You're perceiving the headshot is dangerous. Well, whiplash is dangerous. So if you hit me in the legs or hit me in the chest and my head goes forward, I can still get the same kind of brain damage.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So therefore, let's stop with the perception and let's start with the education on how you can counteract that damage and you can come back and you can heal the brain and grow the brain. But quit kicking kids out of games. Now, if you want to say, you hit 2, if you get a guy like that twice and it's a intentional hit to the head and you're just reckless, I understand it. But a lot of these things, man, guys are coming down. Look at the guy get kicked out of the national championship last year.
Right.
Starting linebacker. Yeah. Come on, man. What for? You're taking something away from this kid that he might not ever play in that game again.
Never again.
And you took something from him because of he's out there trying to play and provide for his – he's trying to provide, further after sports, but he's living his lifelong – like everybody wants to play college international championship game.
Right.
You just said you give up everything to go for a championship. You look at the hit last night with the Giants. Brate ducks his head into the guy for the Giants. He gets a penalty.
Yeah.
It's overboard, right? Because what
you're
doing is you don't want to educate people. And we talked about at the beginning, education is the key. You would rather just play to the facade and say, we're protecting the players, but you can't protect the players.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Long answer, but.
No, interesting, though, man. It's just all of it's interesting, man. All of it's interesting.
Man, I appreciate you for your time. You want to leave us any words, man? Anything that you learned through sports that it taught you in life and that you can help others with some of the knowledge of everything that you've learned through your journey?
The one thing that I've learned, Nick, and it's something that I heard Orlando Steinauer say, or Stein, enjoy the ride. Man, enjoy the ride, man. No matter what, enjoy the ride. And I didn't understand what that meant until my ride was over. You know what I mean? Enjoy the ride, man, and whatever it is. I mean, I know you're a dad, I'm a dad, and enjoy the ride. It's important. So important. You know what I mean? And be present in the moment, man. Just because, we don't all, but a lot of us won't. We may miss the moment. Yeah. If you're not present in the moment, so definitely enjoy the ride.
Yeah, you definitely have an open mind to be able to switch that and to do what you did, man. It was a pleasure to compete against you. Pleasure to have you on the platform today, the podcast, and just hear some of your story and see how you're doing things. How can people get a hold of you on social media? And how can people get one of those shirts, man? That shirt is fire.
Yo, you can follow me on Instagram, Byron Parker 28. Easy to find. All of my other social media platforms will be there. Hopstock28 is going to be my my foundation, nonprofit foundation, and you can find me online, 28designs.com. That's 28designs.com. I'm actually revamping my website now, so I'll be putting this up here probably in the next couple of days after I do my schoolwork.
Yeah, I like that, man. That's awesome. I appreciate you for coming on, brother.
Hey, man, Nick, keep doing great things, man. I appreciate you having me.
Indeed. Well, this is another episode of the Lulu Logic Podcast, and we out.